But I wouldn't say it was unwatchable. Although, like you said, you really don't like episode 1, and I think
Well,
some people.
I mean, it's not that bad, but yeah, it wasn't. It's actually interesting that the pilot got picked up because
Yeah,
it's not.
the episode
Yeah,
episode 1 is, it doesn't even feel like the same show. I agree.
yeah,
But if you so for me, the rest of that season and season 2, I think they all feel sort of similar, and I don't mind that feeling. In fact, I like it, but there's no question that it hits its stride middle of the series versus most shows start out strong.
yeah. When you get like George's parents, like, well, I guess they are earlier, but they replaced the dad with
Yeah.
Jerry Stiller.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, when you get George's parents involved, when you get Elaine and her boyfriend involved and stuff, like
yeah.
whoever her
Oh
boyfriend
yeah,
happens to
her series of boyfriends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get Kramer doing his own, like it comes together so well, and the overlap and the jokes that are set up on a different storyline that they get paid off on someone else's. It's beautiful writing. But yeah, no, it's an interesting example. But yeah, I can't think of one that started out so bad that just kept going, because most of them just get canceled. They just don't make it because no one buys shows in bulk like this. This is insane.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I think people misunderstood the concept of this video, which is, what would you like to see in season 2, and what are your hopes for? I guess I did ask what your expectations are, and everyone just says it's going to be bad. But I guess I was looking for more helpful criticism. Instead of just as bad, is there any? I guess to these people, there's no redeeming qualities. So there's not even a chance. It would have to basically change every aspect to them, and I appreciate that. I guess I just, again, I think I asked them about. I would ask them about the Hobbit trilogy, and does that have the same issues? So now we get into our current production, which is revisiting the Rings of Power episodes, starting with episode 1. And here we get some interesting comments. So this person liked the dwarf set shots, which I have talked about because I've always been a strong. I've always strongly wanted to see more dwarf stuff in fantasy, and we don't really get it anywhere. And even in the original trilogy, we don't get it. And then there's The Hobbit, which I didn't really like for 10 years, so I really didn't have anywhere to go. I think the dwarf sets here are great, and you could cut this season down into a tiny movie about dwarves, and I think it would be okay. I think people would not hate it as much if someone were to re-edit the entire season. I don't know if you feel
But at some point, why? Yeah, why make it Lord of the Rings at all? And just do a.
So this is the comment that I've also had with Halo, which is that Halo, they've gone off the rails. It's nothing to do with the games.
Right,
Why?
I've not watched any of that stuff.
But also, I don't know. You haven't played the games either, have you? Not the story.
You know what? No, I've not played them all through. That's a good point.
So you wouldn't even know the difference, and so I do wonder if what you think if you were to watch an episode or two, because for me, immediately they're off the games, and I just think to myself, why make it Halo? Just make some generic, call it Andor, call it whatever, just make some sci-fi thing, but take it away. Don't make the Master Chief the main character in the game in your show, and then have him just being a regular guy. It doesn't make sense. So
wait, they did that?
Kinda.
Isn't he kind of like a? What's he in the game? He's kind of like a cyborg thing in the game.
Yeah, here they mess around with that, and he's constantly not wearing his helmet, and he's naked sometimes, and it's just look. He never removes his helmet. That's part of the silliness of the games. You constantly want him to take his helmet off, and he won't. And here he takes it off immediately. He's like, I don't need this thing. And it's like, why? If what's his name on The Mandalorian can wear a helmet for 3 seasons or whatever, you can wear a helmet. Like, I don't get it. Anyway, that's my own. That's another thing. It's not this. This is not a Halo channel. Let's see. What do we got here? I was waiting for this. Saw the first one and I'm hooked. Hope you guys keep going. Oh, nice. All right. So we got someone that likes our breakdowns. James Bond is not a code name. I think I said it might be a code name. I can't remember, but
I don't remember what I said either. Yeah.
But it depends what you're talking about. In the books, it's not a code name. I said that clearly, I'm pretty sure. But my point was, it can be in the movies if they want. Like, they can make it that because that allows them to bring all the movies together into one, like, universe. Because it's not the same guy. So my whole thing was, if they want to go that direction, they can make it a code name. But in the books, it's clearly not. It's clearly one guy. I'm with you, Scottish Bond fan. I like James Bond too. I don't hate James Bond. I want it to be I'm just saying. It could be if they wanted to try and connect the pieces. In fact, wouldn't that be a cool Bond movie for him to be like revisiting some of his old cases that the actor that you're watching didn't do himself, and he has to figure out what the other guy... Anyway, that's a different topic, but I just wanted to touch on that because I saw this comment about a month ago. I even gave you a little heart there. I'm not saying it's 100% a code name, and I've read the books now. I know it's not a code name, so just wanted to clear that up. All right, here we go. The problem with the scene where Elrond understands time passing differently for immortal and mortal is that he already knows that. He had a twin brother who chose to live as a human and who died after living 500 years. If Elrond was replaced with Celebrimbor, all would make more sense. It would be closer to lore and make us care about him. That's an interesting one.
That makes sense.
What is this guy's name? Finesse Manny? I'm butchering that. I'm sorry, but I like that comment. I think that's a really neat idea. And it's one that I hadn't thought about. I will say 500 years is still a while. Like, what we're talking about is it's been like 20 years, and he forgot that 20 years was a long time. But I see your point, and I think that it's a good one. Like that, you're right. There needs to be more understanding on Elrond's part because of who he is versus other elves. Like, he is different, and they should have had that scene happen. If they're going to have that scene happen at all, it should have happened probably prior to having his brother passing. I agree. Orcs are decent looking, but they have the Jackson problem. They are too large, and they get buffs and debuffs when the story needs them to. Yeah, I mean, we could go into a lot of detail on like how orcs work in the films and how they are clearly designed for certain scenes to fail and to win in other scenes. But you think they have the Jackson problem? So the Jackson problem is that it's not clear in the movies which ones are orcs, which ones are goblins, or if there's even a difference, which I'm on the side that there is a difference. But there have been some books and some people speculate that they're the same thing, just a different language. So, like, that's a whole other conversation that we could do a whole video on that topic itself. But for me, the Jackson problem, I mean, for the most part, yeah, our main characters in Peter Jackson films are overpowered. And so the orcs they go up against, the goblins they go up against, lose pretty easily. So I take your point. But they still pose a problem to normal people in those movies. And I don't know, other than like, I'm trying to think of a scene where they seem the wrong size, and I can't think of one. because there are times where they appear bigger, but we're at the point of view of a hobbit. So like, that's the other thing. Depends on your perspective. So yeah, I'd have to get like an example of a scene where they appear bigger or smaller than what they're supposed to, because none of that stands out to me. But they do get buffs and debuffs. I'll agree. It's not 100% clear which ones can run around outside in the daylight and which ones can't. So I'll go with you on that. The bullying scene feels weird. Bullying doesn't fit elves, and they are bullying Galadriel, who is related to all elven high kings in Valinor. And Finrod just watched it happen. Yeah. So we've talked about this prologue. I don't know if you have anything else to add. Like you've defended this prologue more than I have.
About the bullying, I don't know.
About everything,
Yeah.
like from the dialogue to the fact that elves are bullying Galadriel. It's unclear like if they know who she is, because like this person points out, she's related to the kings and the royals of the elves. So
Yeah, I don't know if that would keep you from getting. Maybe it would. I'm not sure.
but also like this person is kind of right. I don't view elves as bullying each other. I view them as bullying other races, like say dwarves or humans. Where
But they do you think they'd really be that different from us? Like they wouldn't bully each other? I don't know.
I don't know. I just have never thought of them as bullying each other. They seem to be. It's a very select group that gets to be immortal, and we're the scum that dare tread upon their cloaks or whatever. Yeah, this person's given a pretty detailed answer. So they don't like the prologue also because it doesn't clearly establish Morgoth's motivations. And then, what is the light of our home? Yeah, I have a lot of questions about elven lore based on the Rings of Power. I can't even get into it. It has to be in its own video as well, because even in this episode...
It's a good point. Yeah, why didn't Galadriel just keep going alone?
Yeah. So, some weird ones here. Gil-galad was the character that this person wanted to see most. He's his favorite elf, and they made him to be a short-sighted jerk.
Yeah.
Kind of weird guy. Yeah, I agree. All right. Season 2. I think this is episode 2 now.
Yeah, there's no like majesty around him. Like,
no.
When you meet Elrond in Fellowship, like he gives off like he's a big deal, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
But like Gil-galad just kind of seems like soap opera cheesy.
Yeah. No, you're right, and I agree. There's something off. In fact, I remember one of the first times we did a review, like back when it first came out, I said they almost kind of want to set him up like this might be Sauron. Like he's got this weird energy. Like and even in this in episode 5 that we're going to review very shortly, episode 5, he's got weird energy. Like this whole his character is not quite right, and I don't get why they chose to make him this way. So I'm sympathetic for someone who's a big fan of that guy. All right. Mr. P.W. Miles. Could there be more than 5 wizards? Yes. I guess we might have asked this question about, is Meteor Man really that lore breaking?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so in if we go with Unfinished Tales, the Astari say, of this order the number is unknown, but of those that came to the north of Middle-earth, the chiefs were 5. So, do we know where the Harfoots are? I guess is also the question, because they're going east, but where are they now? I always thought that they were kind of close to the Shire, right? That was my understanding of where the Harfoots are.
Aren't they like in like kind of like Mirkwood area? That's what I thought.
Oh, so then they're actually close to all this stuff going on with the elves and dwarves as well. Well, close-ish, like they're close relative to the Shire.
That's what I thought.
Maybe. So, but either way, we both think they are in the northwest of Middle-earth. and that's why we.
But I would say more north. Well, yeah,
Well, I'm
like I
saying,
mean,
like-
like not like Rune East, like, but
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
like the Hobbit setting, like Dale.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
maybe not Dale itself, but I don't know. South, I don't know.
No, but like you see what I'm saying? Like they're not over
East of the Shire, though.
east of the Shire, but they're not like east of Mordor, where we assume the other wizards go. And also, I think they're north more than like Gondor or something south of that. Like it seems like it's one of the 5 wizards is what I'm trying to get at. It's like if it's not one, they can't be in the location we think they are because of the source, if we're going by this source. So I do appreciate this quote here.